Okay. Good evening, viewers out there. Thank you very much for joining us on today's show. We have another great topic today, um, which we are going to discuss. And then we have a very special guest with us as well, who is a health professional to take us through this great topic. I'll give her time to introduce herself, but today we are going to discuss on the topic asthma. We've heard a lot about asthma and what happens to people with asthma. There's been a lot of tragedies with people who have asthmas and stuff. So today, I've brought in a specialist to talk to us on this special topic, and then the measures you have to take if you know you are asthmatic. So good evening, Auntie Joyce. Can you please introduce yourself to
Good
our
evening.
viewers out there, please?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Christy. My name is Joy Jefferson. I'm a nurse in a GP practice in Orpington, non-medical practice. I do part-time there, and I also work in another practice in Bexley. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for taking your time to educate us on this special topic in asthma. When we talk about asthma, what is asthma?
Yes. So we've heard about asthma in our local language. It's called entishewa. That's what I understand. It's asthma.
Okay,
It's a common lung condition that causes occasional breathing problem, and it's caused by
okay,
inflammation of the tube that carries air in and out of the lungs. So what
all right,
happens with asthmatic person is that the muscle of your bronchi, which is the branches in your lungs, which is the tube leading to
okay,
your lungs, get tightened and thickened, and the air passage becomes very inflamed and mucus
okay,
filled, making it very difficult for air to go in or in and out, to move in and out
all
of your
right,
lungs. So that is what is called asthma.
okay. So, what are the causes of this? Causes and symptoms of this asthma?
Okay, so in asthma, you can be very the symptoms and signs. We've got so many signs and symptoms of asthma. So I'm
Okay,
gonna speak to you about a little bit, not all of it, because it's too broad to go through all the signs and symptoms. So we've got
okay,
shortness of breath, like getting
okay,
breathless, chest tightness and
yeah,
pain, coughing, especially at night,
all right,
wheezing sound when exhaling, like when you're breathing out. When you're
yeah,
breathing out, that's where you hear the sound. Panic when
okay,
anxious, fatigue, hyperventilating, stress. These are some of the causes and symptoms of asthma.
asthma. Okay. So, and what are the diagnoses? If someone have the asthma, how do you diagnose it?
Okay, so asthma, we've got different types of asthma. We've got
Okay.
allergy asthma, which is mainly you are allergic to something, being food or let's say pollen, or most of those allergy asthmatics has got eczema as well, and about
Okay.
80% has got food allergy one way or the other. So you might be
Yeah.
allergic to, let's say, cats, dog food and all that, and
Yeah.
pollen and dust and mites. So mainly
Okay.
what we do is we can do a skin test to see what you are allergic to. So when you go to
Yeah.
the GP, they can request for a skin test to do allergy
Okay.
testing, and then they will notify that. And we've got non-allergy asthma as well, such as
Okay.
burning wood, cigarette, cold air pollution, viral illness, air freshness, like perfume, strong scent of perfume, and all that can be
Yeah.
non-allergic asthma. And we've got
Okay.
exercise induced asthma. That is when you do exercise, you tend to have breathlessness and get shortness of breath. So that is
Oh,
another
okay.
form of, yeah. And we've got occupational asthma. That occupational asthma normally develop when you are a bit older. It can cause by pollution at your workplace. Some people get
Yeah,
allergy or get anxious and get this asthma when they tend to be in their workplace, for instance.
yeah,
It could be something that is particularly in the working place that is causing you your asthma. It could be strong smell of air refreshener. It could be strong scent of detergent that you use in that workplace. So that tend to be in the later
yeah.
stage of the asthma, later stage of your age that tend to develop. So that
Oh,
is
okay.
that. And also we've got seasonal asthma. That normally brings up with maybe the
Okay.
weather. When the weather is cold,
Yeah.
hay fever time, you can have it as well. So that is the types of asthma. And what was the question you asked me?
Um,
The
Diagnosis.
diagnosis. Okay. So we can do a
Yeah.
lot of tests to diagnose you if you've got asthma. We can take history,
Okay.
history of asthma, your medical history, being family history. You've got lineage of asthma being in your family, your dad, mom, or
Yeah.
maybe your history, like if you cough at night or you have any allergy. So history taken can help us to diagnose you as asthmatic. That is one. And we
Yeah.
can do a physical examination listening to your chest with a stethoscope. That can
Okay.
also tell us what the sound of your lungs, the noise and all that, whether it's wheezy, and that is sign of asthma as well. And also we've got the
Yeah.
medical um, diagnostic that we can do. We've got something called spirometer
Yeah.
that can also help us to diagnose you. It's spirometer is like breathing. We is like a tube. So
Yeah.
you blow in a quick air throughout a mouthpiece on one end, measure the force of air liter per minute. So that will tell us what
Okay.
kind of, yeah, so that will let us know. And there's a latest one that called FINO. F is FENO. It's
Yeah.
a test which also stands for FINO stand for function concentration of exhale nitric oxide in your lungs. So when you
Okay.
do that particular test, it tells you the inflammation, the what percentage of your the inflammation in your lungs, the percentage of it, which is whether it's present or not. So that also tells us that you are asthmatic. If there is any present of inflammation in your lungs, then we'll also know that you are asthmatic. If there is none, then that means you are not. So that also help us to diagnose. So that is the
Okay.
diagnostic bit. Yeah.
Okay. So with this asthma, is it genetic? Can people inherit it from their families?
Oh yes. Normally the ones that you when you were born and you get asthma, let me clarify this. In asthma, in adults and children, children being under certain age, we don't diagnose you as
Yeah.
asthmatic because we
Okay.
the logic is maybe you grow out of it when you grow up. So under
Yeah.
certain age like five, below five, age five, we don't diagnose asthma
Yeah.
until you are 6, 7 that age. Then we can diagnose you
Yeah.
asthma if the symptoms still there. So
Yeah.
mainly we when you are beyond that age, under five, under six, we
Yeah.
call it bronchitis. Main time for most of the time we call it bronchitis. So with that,
Okay.
Auntie, please remind me the question again. I've lost here.
I asked if it's genetic, if it can be
Okay,
inherited
yes.
from the
So
family.
it can be,
Yeah.
yes. So if it's genetic, then you'll be born with it.
Yeah.
That means they've passed it on to you. But Yes,
Oh,
so asthma can be genetic, and it can be your adult time. You can get it when you come out from birth. You can get it as well through pollution and all sorts of things. So yes, asthma can be genetic.
okay. Okay. Sometimes I see other people gasping for breath,
Yeah.
and then they go to the hospital. They tell them that they might be asthmatic, but they were not born with it. How possible is that? That they
Yeah.
can get it at certain age?
Yes, it's possible because of this environmental pollution that we have. You can develop asthma in your adult age. Being what I said about this occupational asthma, you can develop it
Yeah.
through pollution, through strong smells, through. So it doesn't matter. You can develop asthma at any age at all. You can. It's possible.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how dangerous is this asthma?
Asthma is very dangerous because it can you can die from it. And if you can die from anything, that means the thing is whatever thing you will die from is very dangerous. So there's a statistics here that says
Yeah.
that 8.5, which was carried out by Asthma UK, 8.5 of the population in the UK are on treatment for asthma. And out
Okay.
of the 8.5, 1.1 are children, and the rest 5 point something are adults. So if you look at these statistics, that shows that there's out there people who are not on treatment and who doesn't know they are asthmatic. So many. It's only those that are on treatment. A lot of them are asthmatic and they are not aware that they are asthmatic. So it's very dangerous. And the
Asthmatic.
death,
Oh,
there's a whole lot of death related to asthma. There was a study that stated that in from 1990, asthma has the death rate of asthma, which is the prevalence, has gone low because of this
yeah.
education that we are giving people, and also um, asthma awareness out there. So people are aware and educating themselves more, and also seeing their doctors to early diagnosis of asthma so they can get the necessary treatment that they need. So
All
anything
right.
that makes you can die from is a dangerous thing. So I would say asthma is dangerous. Yes, it is.
So how in terms of this COVID, how how can this
Sorry, I didn't hear your question.
in terms of this in terms of this
Mm,
COVID-19
mm.
happening, how can people take measures so that this will not happen?
Okay, before COVID too, we've got measures out there for people who are asthmatic. So if you are asthmatic, what we normally do is
Mhm.
you see your asthmatic specialist, being a doctor or a nurse, to help you manage your
Yeah,
asthma. So you see them at least yearly. So they can go through your symptoms, your
yeah,
treatment, everything with you so that your asthma can be properly managed. And we've got something called
yeah,
action plan, management action plan of asthma. So everyone who is
yeah,
asthmatic should have a plan. So when you go in for that 1 year asthma checkup you have with your nurse or your doctor, they should put in an action
mhm,
plan. What happened when you're having crisis, and what to do when you are in danger. What
yeah,
treatment you should take, what time and when. So this is the management plan that guides you on what on daily basis. So with the
yeah,
COVID, that is not going away. You still need to take your inhalers regularly if you're on preventer or you are on
mhm,
reliever. Some people are on preventer, which is the long acting medication to protect you from getting into your asthma triggers like
okay,
shortness of breath and all that, wheeziness. So the preventer prevents you from getting your asthma attacked. And the reliever is the one that you
okay,
take daily. Sorry, reliever you take it when you need it. Preventer is daily. Preventer, you have to take it
Oh,
every day. The reliever is a short
oh,
acting. So that one you need to take it when you are in crisis, when you are in asthma crisis. That is the blue one called salbutamol. That is the short one. So if you are on
okay.
both of them, you need to be taking your preventer daily as COVID is in place. You take it daily as recommended by your doctor or your nurse so that
All right.
you don't get into risk of triggers. This will prevent you because we
Okay.
know that people with asthma normally have respiratory problems, being a virus. So you can get asthma can attack
Yeah.
you being triggered by any respiratory virus, including coronavirus. So if you still take your preventer daily and your reliever when you need it, I think you will be better than not taking it. Because a lot of people out there don't take it at all until they need it, the preventer. It's not gonna work. You need to take it daily so that it will work at the long run because it works in the long it's a long
Oh,
acting, so the long you use it, the longer it works. So COVID
okay.
doesn't change anything. You need to follow the government guidelines on COVID, preventative protocol by washing your hands regularly, wear face masks, and social distancing. I now understand that it's going to 1 meter. If you're wearing your face mask, you can be 1 meter distance from each
So,
other. So that
okay.
is what
And
is in place.
we just make mention of the mask. If an asthmatic patient, do you think the mask is ideal for them to always put the mask on?
You put it on when you are in wherever position that you are in, but you take it off immediately you move out of there. And we've got some FF3 masks that you can breathe through.
Okay.
There is some mask that you can breathe through out there for asthmatic. If you cannot put the ordinary ones that we wear, you can put the FF3 mask on, and that you can breathe in as asthmatic. So that is also recommended.
Okay. All right. So can this actually be prevented? If you were
Asthma.
not born with it, can it be prevented?
Prevention difficult and challenging to know how to prevent asthma. But if you try to avoid the triggers, reducing exposure to allergy and taking your preventative medication, example, vitamin supplements. Vitamin D is very important when it comes to this. And also antihistamines
Oh,
and wearing your mask when needed. I think you can prevent yourself getting into the trigger, but you cannot prevent getting asthma. No, that one you can't. And there's also certain places that if you haven't got asthma, and you, for instance, this occasional asthma I mentioned, you can prevent
yeah.
certain places like, oh, I'm asthmatic, so I'm allergic to dog, cat, and all that. You can prevent yourself from going to that places so that it will reduce
Oh,
the trigger. But you cannot
okay.
prevent you from getting asthma if it's genetic. And even some
Okay.
even if it's not genetic, sometimes you cannot prevent it.
Okay. So apart from the inhaler pump put to them, are there any medication or treatments that they can also get?
Yeah, there is inhalers. We've got different types of inhalers. So I mentioned the reliever, which is the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short acting inhaler. And that
Yeah.
can you use it only when you are in crisis. And
Okay.
we've got the long acting, which is the preventer. That one you need to take it daily basis, on daily basis. That is when you take it. You take it morning and evening sometimes. Some of them to you take two. We've got step up and step down. We've got something called step up and step down. Some people their asthma get worse
Okay.
when in winter. Some people their asthma get worse when it's in summer. So we
Summer. Okay.
in between them that your symptoms are not getting bad, you can step down from the inhalers. But when your symptoms is getting to be bad, let's say 2 months or
Mhm.
3 months before you get your symptoms, normally, a lot of people know themselves very well. They know that they've got
Okay.
winter coming, and for that matter, from October they start taking their preventer morning and evening, so that it will work when the
Okay.
winter comes. It will protect you when the winter comes. And some people too know that they've got
Okay.
asthma attacks in summer. So then from March, April, when the hay fever period, they start taking their, let's say March, they're about February, March, they start taking their preventer to prevent them from this summer period episode. So with the treatment, these are the two treatments, that is the inhaler, which is the reliever and preventer. The preventer can be, you can have steroids in them. So we always advise them to rinse their mouth after using the steroids. And you can also use it through this tube. Just a minute, actually. We've got this face mask. We call it chamber. It's spacer. I don't know if they can see this. Auntie Christy,
Yeah.
this is the chamber. So
So
you
is
put
that, is
the,
that an inhaler?
no, no, it's just a chamber that you use for your inhaler. It helps. It's
Oh,
very
okay.
good. It directs you. So you put this side in your mouth. We've got one that is got face mask on, like a mask on, and this is the mouthpiece. This is the mouthpiece. So you put this side
Okay.
in your mouth, and then you shake the inhaler and put the inhalers here. If it's the
All
metered
right.
dose one, we've got metered dose inhaler.
Okay.
This goes through that. And we've got the powder, dry powder, metered dry powder inhaler too. That one you have to take it direct. But the reason why I brought this
Oh,
up
okay.
is because of the steroid base in it. If you use this one, it prevents the direct steroid going into your mouth. So you don't develop thrush
Okay.
and mouth sore and all that. And it's always
Oh,
recommended to rinse your mouth after using your preventer medication if it's got steroids in them.
okay.
Yes. So that's why I brought this
Okay.
up. And it's also very good because it's got seal around. All the percentage of what medication you need will get into you. There's none that will escape.
Mhm.
So it's very good. So we use it
Okay.
for, you can use it for your reliever, as in the blue salbutamol, and you can use it for the preventer that has got, which is also metered dose. Only the metered dose inhalers that can be used through this. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
your question is there any other treatment? We've got
Yeah,
mentholicals,
or
which is,
medication. Apart from the inhaler, is there any medication like tablet or something that they can take as well?
yes, we've got mentholicals. It's called mentholicals. It's also in a tablet form. You can use that. Mentilocos in addition sometimes with the preventer. Taking it daily
Okay.
in the evening or at night. And it's help in
Okay.
stopping the chemical in your body that narrows your airways. So that is the Montelicos as
Okay.
well. It's a tablet. That is a tablet. It's normally taken at night, as I said, in the evening. So it's one tablet taken daily. Yeah, so there's a tablet, that one as well. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay. So, with asthmatic patients, are there any foods or any diets that they are on? Like maybe if there are any food that they can't eat that might
Okay.
trigger the asthma. I can take us to there.
Okay. So as we all know that diet is very important in our daily health. The body needs very good diet and very good food to sustain us, to prevent us from getting asthma, not to getting it, but to reduce the risk.
Yeah.
Asthma, as in any other illness, you can use vitamins. Is very important here. Vitamin D, vitamin C is very important here. In your meal, you need to have vitamins. There is a study
Okay.
that that in this COVID they said vitamin D in our black minority ethnic group is really
Yeah.
low. Our vitamin D is low. So that is why maybe this COVID affected us so much. So because
Okay.
of the
Okay.
sunlight that we're not getting in vitamin D. So I will urge everyone to try and do blood tests with vitamin D in it because it's very important. You need to know the level. There's vitamin D out there that you can buy over the counter that you need to take 1,000 units daily. That will help boost your
Okay.
vitamin D. So vitamins are very important in our diet if concerning asthma.
All right.
Also, exercise. You need to do exercise to lose weight because the
Okay.
more, if you have a lot of body, the body squeeze your lungs in such way that you cannot breathe the normal way. So if you lose a bit
Okay.
of weight and the weight reduces, your lungs become free and you'll be able to breathe better in that aspect. So losing weight is also another one. So then exercise. Yeah. So
Okay.
diet is
Okay.
very important.
Important. Okay. Okay. What are there any difference between adult asthma and child asthma, or they are the
Okay.
same? If there are any difference, yeah.
Okay. Asthma in children and asthmatic in adults. The only difference I will say it is medication wise, the doses will be less in children and it will be high in adults. And sometimes the children too cannot tell you what they are going through. So you have to think or you have to know what is happening to them. And
Okay.
in terms of asthmatic, it's the same symptoms, it's the same causes, everything. So I will not say there's much difference in the illnesses. Yeah.
There's a question here. Someone said, "Does it appear with time? As time
Does
goes
it
on, does it
disappear with
disappear?
time?
Disappear? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Asthma can go, as I said, when you are a child, they don't diagnose you as asthmatic because you might grow out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So asthma can go away. It can go away, yes. It can disappear as you grow.
Okay.
Mm.
So how dangerous is it to live? I know we've discussed about how dangerous the asthma is. How dangerous is it as time goes on from a child, for a child and then to a vulnerable person like an old person? Do they always like? Do we always have to keep an eye on those people?
Okay, being a child, yes, you have to keep an eye on the child. But as the child is growing and you've been giving all the necessary treatment to that child, they tend to know
Mm-hmm.
when they are having asthma and then they do everything to themselves. They pick the inhaler and use it because they are used to what it is. But what tends to do is sometimes with any kind of illness, it tends to make them a bit like they they become stereotyped or they
Okay.
tend to be a bit away from people, tending to know that they've got this illness and it's preventing them to do things that people are doing and they cannot do it. Especially a lot of the asthmatic can be limited in doing sports like football and all that. So knowing that
Yeah.
they have that, it will make them a bit not happy, I would say, if you know what I mean. They will be a bit
Yeah.
isolated when their friends are all playing
Yeah.
out there. So
Okay.
yeah. So with time
Okay.
they
So
can
let's
mm, Go
Okay,
ahead,
there's this
Auntie.
question I want to ask. When a child is born, a new baby is born, how do you determine that they have this asthma? Do you have a special test for them? And if you find out, what do you do?
Okay, so as I said, when they are certain age, we don't uh, diagnose them as asthma. It's always bronchitis
Oh,
because
okay.
yes, when they are young, baby, you cannot say it's asthmatic because bronchitis can
Okay.
is the inflammation of your lungs and it can be caused by virus or bacteria. So we treat it with antibiotics. So with children, it's difficult to diagnose them as asthma because when they grow up, most of them grow out of it. So it can never we don't diagnose children as asthmatic.
Okay. Asthmatic. Oh, okay. So with this bronchitis, is
Mm.
it, can we say it is linked to asthma? Does it have the same symptoms as asthma?
Yes, you will be breathless, difficulties in breathing, wheezy sometimes. Yes.
Okay. So when a patient comes in, someone who is not born with the asthma, when they come in and they are short of breath, they come into hospital. How do you determine that that person is asthmatic, or
Okay.
how what process do you take that person through there?
Okay. So we can listen to your chest. You remember I said we normally listen to your chest with stethoscope.
Yeah.
Then that stethoscope will let us know whether you are wheezy or not.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's wheeziness, then we can give nebulizer, which is that steamy medication that they put through tube to on your nose.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
steam, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're wheezy, we give you that, and also we can give you steroid-based tablet. It's called prednisolone.
Okay.
That one we measure,
Okay.
we weigh you, and then calculate how many we need to give you. It's given by weight. So to bring the
Okay.
wheeziness and the swelling
Okay.
of your lungs down. So that is the treatment we normally give in A&Es. When we listen to your chest and you are wheezy and all your history is taken and shows that it's asthma, then we treat as asthma. It
Okay.
can be upper respiratory tract infection. That can be infection. It's
Okay.
just being infection inflamed in your throat. So that one we can just give you is viral. You can just drink a lot of fluids and rest for that one. But when we listen, if you're breathless, yes, we can also do a SAT. We call something oxygen saturation. We put a SAT it's a small tube. You put it on your
Okay.
finger, this particular one, your first finger. It's like a probe. We call
Okay.
it probe. We put it there and it reads your oxygen saturation. And that will tell us
Okay.
how much oxygen is in your blood. And that is that you are struggling to breathe, you're struggling to get oxygen. Then we can give you a bit of oxygen. And also with the nebulizer, we give it through oxygen. So that can also help you and bring your oxygen out.
Okay. There's another question here. He says, what other alternative measures will you advise if you get an attack and you don't have your pump?
Okay. So there's a process with all this. When you have asthma attack and you don't have pump, which is always advisable as asthmatic, you need to have the blue one, which is the salbutamol reliever, with you at all time. But we've got a lot of people who always run out and they don't even go and see their doctors to get a new one. But the first
Yeah.
step is if you are breathless and you think you are in crisis, your asthma is being triggered, all you do is sit upright or stand upright, take a deep breath, very, very deep breaths. So you inhale very high and then hold it for 5 seconds and
Okay.
slowly breathe out, slowly. And then you
Okay.
repeat that 5 times. So you breathe
Okay.
in very heavily whilst you are very upright. so that your lungs will extend and get all the air you need. So you need to be very upright.
Okay.
So you stand
Okay.
upright, take a deep breath, hold it for 5 seconds, exhale, and then take the same air in again 5 times. If it doesn't work and you have your blue reliever, salbutamol, short acting, and beta antagonist with you, then you take 2 puff. You can take it through the spacer if the spacer is about. If the spacer
Okay.
is not about, you can take it without it. You shake, you take a deep breath, you put it on your mouth and you press, hold it a bit and like you swallowing it. Hold it in there for 5 seconds. And then you take it out, you
Okay.
shake it again, you do the same thing, you press, you hold it. If 15 minutes after, 10 to 15 minutes after, you're still not all right, you take another one. You can take it 8 puff, but not at a go. If you take
Okay.
10 puff at within 31 hour and you're still not well, then you have to call 999. You need to be seen urgently.
Okay. Okay. Someone is saying asthma is seen as an allergic reaction. And for her, she makes sure she's in an area that is highly ventilated. What do you determine as an highly ventilated area? Do you have to open your windows or what?
Highly ventilated area is where there's fresh air. You can feel there's fresh air going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be your garden where you can get fresh air that is not polluted, somewhere away from pollution. So that is where
Okay.
it's highly ventilated area. Yes.
Okay. And can heat also trigger this asthma?
Yes. Heat can trigger. If you laugh too much, it can trigger. If you cry too much, you can have it as a trigger. Ev-
Oh
Anything
wow.
emotional can trigger your asthma. Yes.
Oh wow. Oh okay. So she said asthma is seen as an allergic reaction. Is it any allergic reaction
It's not allergic
that
reaction. No.
causes asthma? Or
Asthma is not
uh,
allergic reaction. Allergic reaction is something that you've
reaction?
taken
Yeah.
and you have the reaction on you. You having the outcome of it. No, asthma is not seen as
Okay.
allergic reaction. Asthma can be
Reaction.
allergic. Allergy can make you asthmatic, if you know what I'm saying. It's the other way
Yeah.
around. It's not all asthma that
Okay.
is asthma allergic reaction. No, it's not.
Reaction. Yeah. Okay. So what I need you. What advice can you give to people who have asthma and then they drink? Do you think drinking and smoking is also good for them?
Okay, so if you're asthmatic and you smoke, let me start with smoking. Smoking can also trigger your
Yeah.
asthma. It's one of the triggers. Smoking, the
Okay.
smell alone can also bring up your asthma attack. So if you're
Okay.
asthmatic and you smoke, you need to consider giving up smoking or reducing it or just use alternative because smoking is gonna make it worse. And also,
Okay.
drinking can also definitely induce your asthma because of the
Okay.
chemicals in it. Yes. So it's not advisable to smoke or drink
Okay.
if you're asthmatic.
To drink. Okay. Viewers out there, if you have any question, can you please send them up here and we'll make sure you get your answers. So what advice can you give to viewers out there if they because there are people out there who need education on this asthma. They have these symptoms, but they don't actually know it is asthma. What advice do you have for people out there? Especially we are being watched from other countries, Ghana, and then other places. So, what advice do you have for other people out there?
Okay, what I would say is if you are having the symptoms I mentioned earlier, being shortness of breath, coughing at night, waking up with the cough, difficulties
Mm-hmm.
in breathing, a lot of all the allergies I've mentioned, and you think you might be asthmatic,
Yeah,
you need to contact your doctor. At the moment, we are not seeing asthmatic in the GP practice, but we do
yeah.
e-consult online. You can put all your concerns, all your symptoms, your signs and symptoms online, which is the e-consult, and they will get back to you and seek medical attention, get treatment now, because we can give you with your symptoms, whether we don't see you or not, we can deliver we can get you inhaler to start with. And then when we start seeing asthmatic patient, we can do the test. The one I said is spirometry to determine whether you're asthmatic or not. So it's very important
Okay,
you go out there, you put your details there, and someone will get back to you within 48 hours.
okay. There's a question out here. He said when he was back in Ghana, he had asthma, but the moment he came here to the UK, it disappeared. Do you think like the environment can also change it?
Yes, I would say yes, but that is very good because a lot of people say when they were in Ghana, they were not asthmatic. When they got here, they rather got asthma. So, is pollution? Pollution can environmental issue. Yes, asthma can get worse or can settle with environment. That's why I
Can
said some
reduce.
people are not
Okay,
asthmatic, but immediately they get exposed to pollution, they can have asthma. So
can
environmental
have it.
factor
Okay,
is very important, yeah, and it's one of them.
okay, okay. There's another person here. He said, "What can one do to prevent one's asthma situation becoming worse when
Okay,
they've
as I
tried all
said,
other things, but it keeps coming worse?" Yeah.
okay, so if your asthma is worse, that means you are not on the right treatment, you are not on the right inhalers. So you will need to speak to your
Okay.
specialist to consider changing your inhalers for you, alternative inhaler.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Or also you can
Okay.
also lose weight
Um.
if you are a bit you can lose weight and it will help.
Oh. Okay. 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 Our time is almost up. Can you please sum up and wrap up for us on any advice to the general public out there?
Okay, what I would say the asthma tips or management plan I would give to everyone is asthmatics should have their reliever inhalers within them. It should be within their reach anywhere they are going. They should have their reliever with them because they don't know when the attack will come, especially in this
Happen.
COVID. Yes. So they
Okay.
should have their reliever with them. And also, if they have any concern with their asthma, they should get in touch with their doctor. As I said, they can go online and put in any concern they have, and then someone will get back to them as soon as they can. Also,
Okay.
um, their diet is very important. You need to eat healthy, vitamins a lot in your diet, so that you can um, live the normal life you want.
Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much, Auntie Joyce, for coming out this evening to educate us. We will be glad to have you again here to treat us through another topic. And thank you, viewers out there. You heard what she said. Make sure you always have your inhalers with you, and make sure you exercise well, eat well as well, and then take good care of yourself. If you know your asthma is getting worse, just seek medical attention from the appropriate health center. On this note, I would like to say a very big thank you to everyone, and then to Madam Joyce Jefferson for taking your time to take us through this important topic. On this note, I will say goodbye, and next week we come your way with yet another great topic. Thank you very much, and
Thank you,
goodbye.
Christian. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.